In this video, I'm gonna talk about how I think this small detail secretly told us the end of Elbaf, how Straw Hats will know about the Void Century, how Blackbeard might start the Ragnarok, and how he will be the most strongest raid boss of the story till yet. And I'm gonna break it down into 6 points, so let's begin. So before I start talking about what I think is going to happen, let's talk about what is happening right now. So this arc is pretty much done, and I guess after a recent reveal of the Gorosei member and Stussy potentially joining the crew, the whole Egghead crew is getting transferred to Elbaf. And a member of Gorosei has finally stepped out of the palace after staying still in the position for decades. Surely speaking, Elbaf is the next arc, bro. There is nothing to doubt, and I think it's gonna be bigger than Wano, as I consider it one of the big O arcs. But talking about Saturn, the only thing about the antagonist in One Piece is they just become more brutal and brutal as the time passes. So I expect him to just blow up a few countries for no valid reasons. I just want him to look more threatening and dangerous to Luffy so that he can become more stronger, based on the thing which I call as the Uno reverse rule. More stronger you make the antagonist, more stronger the protagonist becomes. Now also about the Seraphims. They are on the island and I have no clue if they are going to be taken by Straw Hats or they have already become a good parting gift for the Navy. So I can't really talk about that situation. And even before anything, the first thing we are going to get is a Kuma backstory and how they escape Egghead while Kizaru and the old man is just sitting right at the exit gate. With God knows what power, cause I think this is the moment one of the Vegapunk bots sacrifices itself so that the Straw Hats can escape, and my choice is Logic. Yeah, I think he's the most probable out of all of them to just sacrifice himself. And no, just a assumption, this might happen, or they might just sneak out without anyone knowing. We all know that Usopp has a weird ability, an ability Mihawk talked about, sorry wrong character, but an ability to make his lies true. And so the lie he has been telling since day one might finally come true in this arc, and he might finally get a full-blown army of giants, which even Big Mom didn't get after years of effort, and that might make his title of God more real than just a joke. Also not forgetting the fact that he has to train his observation haki, because his observation haki is far more dangerous than any of the observation users, enabling him to see kilometers away as a sniper. Bro, the fact that he's gonna face Van Augar when Blackbeard's crew is gonna take on Luffy, Van Augar has a teleportation fruit. So it might just be mind-blowing if he uses his haki and defeats Van Augar, who can not even just teleport himself, but also his opponent to literally any place. And he might just turn out to be the MVP of this arc. When I was rewatching One Piece and I was on the Whole Cake Island arc, and especially the Mother Caramel part, that's the first time anyone ever saw Elbaf. Not full blown, but a part of it. And the thing that caught my eyeballs the most was they worshipped the sun and thanked him for their food. I don't even have to explain this part to you. You get the idea already of what this indicates. Luffy is gonna liberate this island as well, just like he does always. As Elbaf is based on Norse mythology, Shanks is based on Norse mythology, and there's a literal Loki sitting on the throne of Elbaf. I expect there's a character based on Thor, Odin, etc. And as this region is full of gods, and I highly expect we'll receive a lot of detail about who Sun God Nika was. I even once thought to myself that Luffy might be related to Thor in some way, because that might explain why he was able to grab a lightning bolt with his bare hands. But then I was like, nah man, it's obviously because of its devil fruit powers. We can even get some information over who Joy Boy was and why is there a giant straw hat in Emu's personal fridge, cause that hat indicates that Joy Boy was a giant, and what other place to discover more about Joy Boy other than the home of giant itself. The books of Ohara combined with what giants might know, why Shanks specifically guards this island. This might indicate we are going to get some hot and spicy information about the Void Century as soon as we enter that region. After showing us a whole damn robot, which is almost equal to a size of an oars, this will be the perfect opportunity to get to know more about the Void Century. Now the main topic of this arc being who is going to be the antagonist, who is going to start the Ragnarok, which is the literal end of the homeland of gods itself. As this text here predicted that the harsh winter is gonna arrive, which will be cured when the sun regains his power. And the one and the only suspect I have here is Blackbeard. And the reason he's gonna show up to Elbaf is because of the Poneglyph. Oda indicated that the Poneglyph is either on Vera, Beehive or Elbaf in the book Road to Laugh Tale. And I specifically think that it's on Elbaf because of Shanks. Now Whitebeard knew that he has to give the Fishman Island Poneglyph to someone else, as Teach is a long gone case and he's about to die because he's literally on life support. The guy who rivaled Roger, the former Rocks pirate, one of the highest bounties in the world, on a Doflamingo life support. Dude played his cards well on poisoning him. Whitebeard gave Shanks the Road Poneglyph and he transferred it to Elbaf with the help of giants. Blackbeard would invade Elbaf after getting all three of them from Law, and he just needs that final one Road Poneglyph. This is literally what I think is going to happen. As we right now know that this goofball is getting railed by Law and further Garp is gonna arrive and finish him, Teach is always shown underrated before he does something big. And I don't think so even Gear 5 Luffy can take Teach head on. If you ever saw Teach's concept art, he was never meant to be named Marshall D. Teach. His original name was Everything D. Teach. And I don't think so Oda might have deviated from that concept. Judging by the fact that Luffy just faced off 2 Yonkos and whatever next is on the list to top it in terms of power, and I guess Teach is the next strongest raid boss in the story. The strongest Paramecias, the strongest Logia, strongest mythical Zoan, and all 3 types of Haki, and dude is undefeatable. On top of that, his crew members are captains of their own ships, and dude is a fleet captain. As Kid is on Elbaf right now and Luffy is heading towards there, it's 100% that these two are going to join hands and take down the Hippo. As I explained, Teach is not going to be someone who will get defeated by 2 smacks of Gear 5. No, of course not. If these two guys shake hands, I think so there is a possibility of defeating him. And while all this happens, we can finally see Kid's backstory. And an interesting fact that I saw, Kid uses Punk in his attacks all the time. And by the fact that Vegapunk is coming to Elbaf at the same time, I think so Kid might have a direct connection with Vegapunk just like Frankie has. Like dude is just a long lost brother of Frankie but just red. And talking about team up, we might have the final member who might join the party, and that is Katakuri. And I'll strongly think he'll reappear because of 2 reasons. One, his sister is kidnapped, self-explanatory. He has a legit reason to take Teach down as he kidnapped his sister and destroyed his city. After the fall of Big Moms, I think so Katakuri might lead the whole Big Mom Pirates crew as their leader. And the second reason, which I think, is because of Conqueror's Haki. Oda doesn't give any random person Conqueror's Haki. Katakuri didn't have Conqueror's Haki until he fought Luffy in the Mirror World. So if he has awakened it, he surely is a character that Oda wants in the story much more actively. Even Kid awakened his conquerors on Wano, and that fits the image of 3 people with strong Haki and strong devil fruits are going to take this goofball who has 3 strong devil fruits and all types of Haki. Ending this video with finally the statement that this might be the arc. Luffy will finally get to know more about Dragon, or maybe even meet him. As after this whole Blackbeard, Elbaf, Poneglyph, we are just heading towards Raftail and the final war of taking down Emu and the world government. So it makes sense why he would meet him finally. And that was it. A few assumptions and theories. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. See you next time.